Greg, can the Broad Street traffic calming and pedestrian safety project handle the additional traffic from the new development? And that's your development, so I feel like you should be able to speak on this.
So we had extensive studies done, right, by third parties that were validated by the town. And the studies show something pretty simple. So before, what these roads were dimensioned for was convenience-oriented retail. So you had a 150 car parking lot on the site that we're developing in the center, where you had each parking space was getting multiple trips because it's just people driving in and out, to the supermarket and the pharmacy all day long, right? Fast forward, I mean, the development now has, 180 parking spaces versus 150 before. But residents, which comprise 125 of those parking spaces, they only leave on average less than once a day. And so the impact on traffic from folks is actually far less than its previous configuration, right? And another studies point that, multifamily housing in urban centers that you can walk, I mean, the incidence of car use is even far lower than the benchmark that the traffic engineers are using to show what the traffic use is. They're just using multifamily rates. Urban multifamily, where people are actually walking to the coffee shop and not driving there, it's even lower, right? Another thing is a lot of folks in these communities, they drive, which I mean, they drive from their house half a block away to their retail destination in the center, and they do that.
I've never done that, Greg. I will never admit to
it. Just kidding. But they do that. It's a rational thing. They do that because it's just not an environment in which you want to walk, because not a lot of people are walking, and not a lot of people are walking because of the reasons you said, because of the difficult, the difficult environment with the high speeds of cars. But they show that people that are already in the community start walking and start using their car less. And so it sort of feeds on itself to produce less of a, less and less traffic demand as you create more and more walkability. So again, if you were to develop every lot on this whole map back here, every piece of asphalt, you are not, and it's and it's mixed use, residential over retail housing, you do not create the traffic that people are imagining. I mean, 70% of trips going through the center are just that, they're going through the center. They're not people that are here. Right. I mean, the amount of traffic caused by the folks in this neighborhood driving around is negligible.
Right. And that makes intuitive sense. I mean, if you're renting an apartment like right on the green, I mean, you're much more likely to walk to the grocery store, to CVS or the coffee shop, right, and maybe make more trips per week, right, rather than taking your car and buying like 2 weeks worth of groceries, right? Like that doesn't really make sense when you're sort of in that proximity.
Absolutely. It's also about, you think this is a walkable village center, and the tenants that are looking to rent in this type of a housing are also demographics that, first, our towns do not have a housing stock for them because we've only built single family and attached homes. So it's like, you as a, at a college student, or you as a retiree or empty nester, that also disproportionately favors walking to things. As you know, Keller, when you have small kids like we do, walking to things is it's a whole process involved, right? So the car, we don't think that there's going to be, a ton of car demand coming out of any of this stuff.
Yeah. I mean, you say that, but I also think, like, I do like to walk into the center with my daughter. Lickle Patty is her favorite place, like, ever, right? And she loves going to the Bean. But, we typically will drive to the library because I do not feel safe crossing Broad Street with her. So, I think after this project, we probably will take, like, some of the car trips that we take into the center will probably be converted into walking trips. That would be my guess. Yeah.